prom season, which means one thing and one thing only, hood prom. And I think what a lot of people fail to realize is hood prom and baby mama culture are like this. You can't have one without the other. You can't have hood prom or the baby shower stuff or the gender reveals or anything like that without baby mama culture. Because the reason why the dresses are so extravagant in the cars and the show and the presentation is because this is the closest these girls will ever get to being a bride. In the Black community,
girl, the confidence with which you just spouted that racist bullshit, I have to assume that you learned from watching your daddy so confidently walk right out of your life. And while I sympathize with your daddy issues, I really do, you don't get to soothe those hurt feelings by being a racist to literal children online. And since the actual origin of hood prom is a combination of white racism and Black resilience, I'm here to educate your ignorant ass, or at the very least, shut you up before you embarrass the rest of us.
Audacity of that ranch roach to get on the internet and try to convince everyone that the only reason hood proms exist is because there's no fathers in the home, and this is the only time that young Black girls and Black boys will be able to celebrate something so extravagant or near or close to a wedding.
Hood prom, Sasha's talking about Black teens going to prom and calling it hood prom because in her community, the community, she's down here. Okay, let's look at her situation. She was raised in a single parent household. Daddy wasn't in the house. She's also a 23-year-old woman living in her grandmother's house with her boyfriend. Okay, so if she were ever to try to talk to her community, they would literally look at her situation like this. Your daddy is where? Oh, he wasn't in your house? Oh, your mom went to what? Oh, she didn't graduate? Oh, you live where with your what high school? Ooh. So because she is aware of her history and her familial background, in her mind, the only community that she has any privilege and any status over is a Black community. Girl, reassess your life. I'm sorry to break it to you. You're focused over here on the Black community when you need to be focused on here and your pockets. Because that's where your real issue is, okay? You need to go lay on that lady's couch and unpack the daddy issues. The community that you think you have such status and privilege over. Girl, look at your situation. You know what I mean? So the other thing, you have in this idea, oh, Black people don't have dads in their house. Where are you living that? That's your reality. I'm sorry, where I lived, that was not my reality. My household, that was not my reality, boo. Right? Like, again, you need to worry about your pockets and worry about how can me and my boyfriend get about my grandmother's house.
Y'all just be getting on the internet fuming. Just saying anything.
And that we see a rise in hood prom, hood graduation, hood baby showers and stuff like that is because of a lack of emphasis of having the father in the home in the Black community, especially low income ones, such as the hood, and as well as the rise of baby mama culture, because these young girls don't ever really see themselves becoming brides or having a wedding or being a
And you really do believe in the shit that you say. I'm really trying to understand and see if there's any point of view I can follow here. But I don't see the correlation between celebrating prom in an over-the-top way and baby mama culture or the lack of fathers in homes. To me, it feels like this is an excuse to spew off racist takes and dress it up as concern. The take was, prom is celebrated the way that it is because marriage will never be, tying that into pregnancy before marriage and fatherless homes. And I'm not gonna lie, this does not sound like a very Christian conversation. It sounds judgmental, it sounds generalized, and it sounds misplaced. Because last time I checked, all races have children out of wedlock. All races have unmarried women. All races have fatherless homes, and all races celebrate milestones in the way they choose. My Black present father taught me that.
Misery truly does love company.
Hey, if you're gonna message my parents to, complain about my videos and to snitch on me for making the videos that I make, could you at least message my father?
Now, Sasha, when did we say we were taking requests?
Message my father instead of my mother, and while you're at it, could you tell him to get that genetic test I've been asking for PKD, because I have it. It's a kidney disease, and I need to know whether or not he has it or not, because I might have something else, but get the test despite the fact we've been asking for it and offered to pay for it.
Beloved, why would we give a about that? Why on earth would you think you could garner sympathy from the exact group that you made it your duty to offend and upset?
Also, if you choose to message my mother, which I don't prefer, because at the end of the day, my mom's not racist, my dad is. If you want to blame anybody for my alleged racism, blame David.
Again, why would we do what you're preferring for us to do? We never said we were taking requests. How dare you ask such a thing? And no, we're not going to blame your father for your racism. You're a grown-ass woman. You're a grown-ass adult. We will be blaming you for your actions. And you saying that you are a fatherless woman, right? That means that your mother is the one that raised you. So we would, in fact, have to blame her for her parenting to make you become the woman that you are today.
Many cultures have formal rites of passage. Latinos have the quinceañera, Jewish people have the bar or bat mitzvah, Japan has the senjin nohi, Ghana has the dipo, and the Amish have rumspringer. The community stops and says, you made it, you're seen, we celebrate you, you're becoming an adult. Unfortunately, due to our positioning in America, Black Americans didn't have a universal equivalent. In fact, for decades, we were barred from the one dance everyone else was doing, the high school prom. So, to come online and talk about Black prom traditions that have developed without knowing the history behind them speaks volumes into the psyche behind the obsession white people have with what Black people are doing.
It's prom season, which means one thing and one thing only, hood prom. Hood prom and baby mama culture are like this. You can't have one without the other. Because the reason why the dresses are so extravagant in the cars, in the show, in the presentation, is because this is the closest these girls will ever get to being a bride. In the Black community, I'm sorry to say it, actually, no, I'm not, because it's the truth, especially in lower income households, there's not as much of an emphasis on family anymore. These why the dresses remind you of big, beautiful wedding dresses. These kids are substituting their wedding with prom.
Mayonnaise Barbie, please, not today. The obsession is so over the top, and I would be upset too if my prom looked like mayonnaise on white Wonder Bread toast and our prom looks like a whole buffet. But if you're gonna come online and be ignorant and racist, at least know the history of the place and the thing you're talking about. There have always been two Americas, a white America and a Black America. And Black American culture and traditions were created in spite of white people trying to erase us. From that, we developed every major aspect of American culture that's worth exporting, developed wholly or in part by Black Americans. And while we are building and surviving and creating culture, we do so within community with each other and never ever think about white people or what white people are doing the way you guys think about us. Prom was created as a poor working class person's debutante ball. And even with being locked out due to classism, poor white people still found a way to build in racism. When prom moved from colleges to high schools in the 1920s, it was strictly segregated. Even after Brown versus Board of Education mandated integration in 1954, many Southern white high schools drew a line. They would share classrooms, but not dance floors. Instead of integrating, they canceled school-sponsored proms entirely, replacing them with private invite-only, white-only events. No oversight, technically not a legal violation since they weren't sponsored by the school. The result was 2 proms in the same town. The crazy part is that this is very recent history. In 1990, 10 Georgia counties still held segregated proms. In 1997, Morgan Freeman offered to personally fund an integrated prom for his hometown high school in Charleston, Mississippi. The school board said no. He asked again in 2007, and then they agreed, holding their first integrated prom in 2008. 2008, I was in college. They weren't even the last. Wilcox County, Georgia didn't have its first integrated prom until 2013. 4 students organized it themselves, facing severe backlash from their own community. I haven't seen a Black prom send-off. It's not just a few photos on the stairs before the limo pulls up. The whole block shows up. Neighbors, extended family, music playing, and sometimes a literal red carpet rolled out from the front door. The kid going to prom walks out like they're crossing a threshold because they are. In many neighborhoods, just making it to prom and just graduating high school is a massive accomplishment. So you don't just take a picture, you throw a celebration, you put them on a pedestal, you let them feel for one night what it means to be completely seen. This is why Black prom culture looks the way it does. Runway ready gowns, bespoke suits, families investing heavily into this single moment, not out of access, not because this is their only chance to have a wedding, but out of reverence. It's the quinceañera we never had, the bat mitzvah that wasn't a part of the tradition or allowed. A communal declaration that this young person has made it, and their village is making sure they know it. Started out as segregation, became a sacred tradition. What was designed to exclude birthed its own form of excellence. America tried to keep Black kids off the dance floor, so Black families built a coronation instead. And it's insane that you would say that the closest thing that these girls will have to a wedding is prom, when that's just not true, because black people value family and community more than any other ethnic group in America. You ever wonder why black people call close family friends cousins, or we call uncles and aunties who aren't our relation? Because of your ancestors, we were separated from our families during slavery. It was very traumatizing, and the PTSD of that made black culture revolve around your chosen family. So if you were close to people, those people became your family, because your actual blood could be taken away from you at any given moment. Meanwhile, white people put their parents in nursing homes. You don't talk to your siblings, and or you just have one kid or no kids at all. So it's rich coming from you that you would make a claim that we don't care about family or community, when our entire culture and our entire community is built on being communal and family. It will never cease to amaze me how black people are always the most ridiculed, always the most talked about, and people doing this are doing so out of pure anti-blackness, because I doubt highly she would make a video talking about bat mitzvahs, quinceañeras, or any other groups coming of adulthood or coronation type ceremonies. With that being said, stay black. Stay blessed.
Audacity of that ranch roach to get on the internet and try to convince everyone that the only reason hood proms exist is because there's no fathers in the home, and this is the only time that young black girls and black boys will be able to celebrate something so extravagant or near or close to a wedding, and trying to just...
Every time I watch this video and every time I see somebody's breakdown and soliloquy of this young lady's utterly disgusting comments about baby mama culture, black culture, and hood prom, which I hate the term hood prom. It's just prom. It's the fact of this is that it's a couple things. One, she needs the engagement. That's the first thing. Let's get that out of the way. Two, I think a lot of people have this inherent thought that the black community doesn't put family and marriage as the primary thing. Is because you don't know anything about black people. You're not around black people. You're not around any type of versions of black people. You know what I'm saying? We're not all the same, but we all have common standpoints that are all common and known, right? We all believe in family, love, education, right? So when you say these things, it just sounds dumb, to be frankly honest with you. Also, as well as this, baby mama culture is not a black thing. That is a white thing. That is a Latin thing. That is a everybody thing. Every culture, unfortunately, has a baby mama epidemic issue going on. Look at white people. Look at black people. Look at Hispanic people. So you cannot, target just black folk for saying baby mama culture, because baby mama culture and prom culture are two completely different things. Because there are a lot of people who went to prom and never became a baby mama. There's a lot of people who didn't go to prom and then became a baby mama. There's the ones who, graduated prom, valedictorian, went to college, got a degree, everything, and unfortunately did become a baby mama. But is she any way a failure? No. Because y'all like to always say that baby mamas are a failure indication. So sometimes life just happens. And the sad part is, white people will love to jump onto the black folks and say black prom and not understand that white people have the worst issue with baby mama culture than anybody else if you look at it by the numbers. You guys are on child support more than anybody else, food stamp more than anybody else, government assistance by anybody else. You are heading of the line against everybody else. So you don't have a space to speak, to be honest with you. Like, share, comment, tell me what you think.
First of all, white people have no one to blame but ourselves for black folks developing their own traditions and culture around prom that are wholly separate from ours. Because the thing is, we did it to them first. White folks were so mad that we couldn't keep segregating the schools that we just decided to do the next best thing. And by best, I mean racist, the next racist thing of segregating prom instead. But I'm actually getting ahead of myself, because to understand the cultural traditions around prom and why they are different for black communities, you need to know that prom is just a poor person's debutante ball. That's literally how prom came to be. All of us poors, not in the 1%, saw the debutante balls that rich people were throwing to get their daughters booed up and thought, we can do that too, and thus prom was born. And ironically, you're actually right when you hypothesize that many girls see their prom dresses as the closest they'll ever get to a big fancy night of pomp and circumstance. But your own racism got in the way and prevented you from actually forming an intelligent conclusion from that hypothesis. Because that particular division, it isn't along racial lines. It's class-based. Prom is an opportunity for the working class to collectively give our children a night of pomp and circumstance that we would otherwise be unable to afford on our own. But since the majority of white dads back then would have had a real big problem with their daughter ever bringing home a black boyfriend, they couldn't risk having black boys at the same prom as their daughter. And thus, segregated proms became a thing. And the cultural traditions around prom among black and white communities began developing parallel to one another, but with significant differences between the two. And perhaps the biggest difference between the two parallel cultural approaches to prom is whether prom is an individual affair or a community one. For white folks, prom is usually an individual affair, where a teenager's send-off to prom typically only involves their date, their parents, some pictures in the backyard, and maybe a couple of friends and their date pitching in to rent a limo together. Meanwhile, in the black community, prom send-off is often a community affair, where black girls can say thank you to their community, and their community, in turn, can show them the love, appreciation, and care that black girls are often not given by society as a whole. And ironically, you reducing those black girls down to nothing but baby mama culture perfectly demonstrates why their communities feel so strongly about the need to show black girls that kind of love and compassion, because they know that their little girls are growing up and are about to enter adulthood in a society that will treat them as lesser than simply because of the color of their skin. They know that their little girls are about to enter an adulthood where they have to work twice as hard to prove themselves just to earn half as much. And they know that ignorant, uneducated, foolish bigots like yourself will look at the most educated demographic of Americans in our nation's history, period, and see them as nothing but future baby mamas. Oh, and those videos that they post online of those elaborate prom send-offs, they're a form of cultural preservation via the documentation of Black joy. They're a celebration of community, of family, and of cultural heritage. So the next time that you watch a hood prom video and somehow see the disillusion of the family unit, maybe stop and realize that what you're actually seeing is just your own reflection in the phone screen.
But again, we are blaming you for your actions because you are a whole grown-ass adult. What are you, 40? See, you, my dear, you have a wound. You grew up without your father, and so you're hurt. And instead of sitting with it and unpacking it and healing from it, even though you say you're in therapy, I don't think that therapist is doing you any good, and you might need to get your money back, girl. But instead of sitting with your hurt and your pain and your past, you decided to throw that pain at black girls who are just simply trying to celebrate and enjoy their prom. Something that you obviously were not able to do. You decided to take your hurt and turn it around and project it on black girls, saying that the only reason why they celebrate and go as big as they do for prom is because they don't think a man will ever stay. And so black girls don't think that they will ever have a chance to be a bride. And then when black women showed up in your comments with pictures of us with our fathers, of pictures of us in our wedding dresses, you refused to hear it because this argument was not about being shown evidence or being showed the truth. It was about re-implementing the hierarchy. You even went as far as pulling out a statistic to try to give yourself some sort of credibility. See, you brought up a statistic talking about how black women are more likely to be obese than white women, and what you unwillingly did was not point out something that's wrong with black women. You did not point out a black woman problem. You pointed out a what America did to black neighborhoods problem. See, socioeconomic disadvantages, living in underfunded neighborhoods, growing up in under-resourced environments are what contribute to that statistic being true. See, white neighborhoods contain an average of 4 times as many grocery stores and supermarkets as black neighborhoods. Grocery stores that do exist in black neighborhoods have a smaller selection and are smaller as a whole. We can even point to redlining if we'd like to, but you know what? Here's the part that nobody talks about. A study of over 43,000 black women showed that weight gain increased as everyday levels of facing racism and lifetime racism increased. See, our bodies keep score. See, when our bodies are in a constant state of fight or flight, our cortisone levels rise, so much so that they go from being protective to destructive. Black women also have higher levels of chronic psychological stress when compared to white women because we carry double the weight of racial and gender inequality simultaneously. So when you sit there and you try to point to Black women's bodies as trying to show something that's wrong with us, what you are actually doing is pointing to what this country has done to us and what you are doing as well with your little videos. But here's what it really comes down to, is because when you saw Black girls feeling beautiful, embracing their extravagant dresses and their big intros and making it a once-in-a-lifetime experience, you felt hatred, you felt jealousy, you felt fatherlessness, because that's what lives in you. And so you projected it onto those young Black girls who are just simply trying to make a night they will never forget, as they should, with their fathers and their mothers behind the camera, cheering them on every step of the way, just like you wish your father would have done for you. So no, we won't be messaging your daddy. You're a big girl. You can handle yourself. See, you didn't bother us. What you did was prove what we've been screaming about for years. And we are not blaming your daddy for your racism. We can hear you speak because you decided to put your racism on the internet for all of us to hear. Oh, and since we're throwing around statistics, Black women don't typically develop signs of aging until we are in our 50s. Meanwhile, white women show signs of moderate to severe aging by the time they are in their 30s. So while you are online being so concerned and worried about how Black girls decide to celebrate their proms, your face is paying the price.
So there you have it. And I think what I'm gaining from whatever this conversation that has been going on is that some people are actually fond of lighting a fire they are incapable of managing. Because why would a young girl pick a day and think of all the possible things one would say and choose to say something as weird as that? Now, this lady, I think she is those kind of people that use social media to just gain, followers, to just want the prestige of having a lot of people following you. And, just showing her racism towards the Black community. And I'm sure when she was making that video, her intention was not to get the backlash that has happened to her. I'm sure that all she wanted was to intimidate Black people and to gain a lot of supporters that are fellow racists of hers. And that was really her expectation. She expected to go viral. And you see, the one problem with the social media these days is that people are trying to go viral and they are willing and they want to do anything as long as it will help them to go viral, and they do not care how nasty or crazy the idea is. They will go to certain lengths that make you question if really getting those followers or being that kind of a viral person is really worth it. People are doing crazy things and they're saying crazy things online just to gain followers, just to have people know you, and at what cost? Yeah. So this one, her intention was that, I think, but she ended up getting the backlash of her life, and I am not sure she will ever make such kind of remarks again in her whole life. It will be a constant reminder to her that once you decide that you want to be racist and you want to do it publicly, and then be ready for whatever that is going to happen to you, because people are not going to just be calm about it. When you decide to rattle a snake, then be sure that it will bite you, and you should have your antidote ready, because you're going to find the consequences of whatever that you rattled. Now, the Black community came out in large numbers, annoyed, angry, of course, and they dealt with her properly. They have told her many things that she needed to hear. She's a young girl and she will definitely learn from that. If she is actually someone that is capable of learning, she should be able to learn from that and never find herself in such a situation again. Now, people got so angry as to go to her TikTok and to do checks on her, trying to find out who she really is, where she comes from, what kind of family she has been raised in, and what her life has been all about, and what she even does. And what people gathered is that whatever she was even trying to mock black people about is actually the life that she is living. Now, that tells you a lot about people on social media these days. People are willing to fake it all. People are fake on social media, and that's why I keep advising people, don't just watch things on social media and start feeling the pressure of you do not have this, you do not have that, you don't go to these kind of places, and yet your friends are going there. They are eating this and you are unable to buy that, they are dressing in this and that. Do not fall for that pressure, because people on social media are very fake. More than half actually, the percentage of people online are fake, living a fake life online, and once you find them in real life, you will be surprised that the same people that live a flashy life online, that anyone who doesn't really know them would think they are billionaires and millionaires, and that life is softer for them. And it's usually very hard for you to watch such kind of things, and in your own situation, you are struggling, you're not doing well, your finances are not in place, your job, is not in the best shape ever, your body sometimes, people actually even fake how they dress, and they fake their shapes. Like, social media needs you to approach it with a very analytical mind, and be very discerning. Don't just believe anything you see. People are buying shapes. They buy some type of cloth that they put underneath the garment, so that when now they have it on, they have like very nice figures, and that is especially for women and men as well. I have seen men that are wearing something that I don't know the names, forgive me, but they wear something that looks like a mask. You know how a mask is made? So it looks like a mask, the skin of a mask, but they put it on and it looks like a vest inside, and then it has muscles, it has the six packs, and once they put on a shirt or a suit, you will not even be able to tell that it's fake. And for the ladies, they are putting on clothes that have, they're putting in something that has like a shape that they want, and in their minds, that is the perfect shape for them. They do that, and then they put on clothes on top of that, and they look lovely, They look like the ideal definition of beauty. And then you are there, you don't know what people are doing, and you're starting to curse yourself, you're starting to feel little, to feel small, that you're not this and that, you do not have this and that. People are fake on social media. Now look at, for example, this case of this little girl. She has made remarks that someone would definitely think first that she's speaking from a point of privilege, that her parenting has been good and she has lived the life, and you would actually be tempted to make an excuse for her, thinking maybe she's speaking like that because she does not understand the other side of life, where kids have to grow up without their parents, and to understand that most of these families that are broken, there are many reasons why families break. And it at the end of the day, what I would say about families breaking is peace is the most important thing. There's no point in staying together as a family when it's breaking all of you, the father, the mother, and the children. Everyone is broken. There's no need for that. I would rather that if it's not working, and if you have tried everything that you think you could do that is within your power, and it's not working, just let it be. It doesn't have to, you don't have to care about what people will say. Let them talk. But as long as your mental health is in shape, as long as your kids, who are the priority in this case, the kids are okay, and they will go to school and they will just do everything generally okay. The only thing they will miss is love from the other parent, consistent love, I mean, because the other parent, in as much as they are not there, they might be coming every once in a while to check on them, to pay school fees and help in whatever way they can. But forcing people, you know, that kind of mentality where you want to force people to make it work, and they have told you outright that this thing, they have done everything they could and it's not working, it's not okay. Yeah, so me, I still don't think it's necessary to do that. And as for her, she should have learned her lesson, and I hope she has. I have not seen an apology from her yet. Once I have it, I will let you guys know. But as for now, it's just silence. So let's keep waiting, and we just hope that even if she doesn't do a public apology, then maybe she will just learn from that experience and to never do it. You know, the best kind of learning is when you do not repeat the same mistake. So guys, I know you have thoughts on that. And yeah, someone said that the closest you people come to having that big experience of like a big celebration just for you, where you get to be seen, you get to celebrate, to enjoy and have fun, is when you are having a wedding. That's the closest you come to a wedding, simply to mean that weddings and black people not in the same sentence. Now, that is weird and bold of someone to say, but yeah, let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear what you have to say about this. And subscribers, new subscribers, returning subscribers, thank you so much for always choosing to be here. If you've not subscribed to my channel, kindly consider doing so right now, because that will help the channel to grow and reach as many people as possible, so that this kind of message is spread across and everyone is in line with the other. Now, guys, I think that is all that I have for now. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like it a bit too much, give it a super thanks. And I think I will see you in my next video. So bye for now.